Welcome back here to CT Style. Now, our world is full of violence in our neighborhoods, in our schools, and our communities, which we're going to talk a little bit about later on in the show. But if we really realize the importance of human life and forgiveness, we may be able to overcome some of this violence. And our next guest has learned that love and forgiveness is more powerful than hate. Welcome here to CT Style, Hashim Garrett. And he is here to share his very, very powerful and moving story of overcoming adversity and letting love win. Hashim, welcome here to CT Style.
Pleasure.
We appreciate it. You have a very moving story.
Right.
Take us back to earlier in your life. Okay. Where were you, 15 years old? Right. Set us up here.
I was living in Brooklyn, New York at the time, and was hanging out with the wrong crowd. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad were really concerned about me and thinking that I was going to wind up dying or spending the rest of my life in jail because of the poor decisions I was making.
Sure.
And they wanted us to move. They wanted me to move from New York, and a few days before I was able to move, I was shot 6 times.
Wow.
And one of the bullets struck me in my spine, which caused me to be paralyzed from the waist down. And what I do is I talk to students about what happened that evening.
Yeah.
And so I had a near-death experience. I laid on the ground for half an hour, bled through a lot of holes, and it was during that time that everything got back into perspective. It was, I wanted my mother, I didn't want to die like this, and I really wanted to live. And it was during that rehabilitation portion, the hospital stays, where I really learned about forgiveness. Initially, I was really consumed with anger and revenge and sadness, and it wasn't until someone came into my room and said, listen, how about you read the Bible? And I said, you got to be crazy. I want revenge.
Right.
I want blood.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, read it.
Well, because that's a natural, innate human reaction,
yeah,
right? Because
exactly.
you're angry. You want to get out there and,
yeah.
and revenge. I mean, so tell us a little bit more about that turning point where you went from that place of anger to forgiveness.
Well, what happened was I was in the hospital for about 6 months, and all I could think about was revenge. And I'm not a church-going kind of person, but I was at a really low stage in life, at 15 years old, had moments of contemplating suicide, and I began to flip through the pages begrudgingly of the Bible, and came across this concept of forgiveness. And I said, you know what, maybe I need to forgive this kid. You know, it was a hard decision. It wasn't very easy. I think being violent was easier than being nonviolent.
Right.
And, but once I made that decision to go, I have to turn the other cheek. He made some poor decisions, I did, but my anger towards him was consuming me.
Yeah.
And so I really forgave him for myself. It wasn't so he could have a better life, it was so that I could move on and heal from this terrible injury.
And you have been able to do that, and now you're really inspiring others. You have your own organization. Tell us about what the organization does and how you're really paying it forward to other young people here in the state of Connecticut. Well,
my company is called Wisdom and Understanding, but I am a motivational speaker. I've been in this line of work since 1995. I initially just started going out to schools and talking to them about what causes violence. It's the arguments, it's hanging around the wrong crowd, and the guns. But during that time of going to schools, other nonprofits heard about me, from the Guardian Angels to a group called the Bruderhof, Breaking the Cycle. So all of these different groups heard about me and said, we want you to work with us. And so it was during the time that I started to work with this organization, Breaking the Cycle, that I started to talk to students about forgiveness and how forgiveness can really help you if you're in a bad place. So I found that talking to students about forgiveness is really transforming them from anger, from gangs to suicide. It's really opening up those doors and peeling back the layers.
Well, it's wonderful work that you are able to do, from taking such a horrific situation in your life and being able to put a positive twist on it. And for more information, all you guys got to do is log on to Hashim's website. It is simply his name, HashimGarrett.com. Thank you for spreading such a positive message.
I appreciate it.
We need a little bit more of that on a daily basis. So,
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time and your generosity here on the show today. And Marisol, we're going